Hello everybody. Today we will be doing an analysis and review of Halloween 5, The Revenge of Michael Myers. So I have my notes here. I did have to go into a second notebook, unfortunately, because I ran out of space in this one, just because of all the notes that I have of movies and other things as well. So this is just a continuation of the Jamie and Rachel story. So this actually starts off, the very first scene is the scene where Rachel's trying to shake Michael off the truck. They crash, she hits him, he goes into the grave. It shows him crawl out of the grave just before they are able to blow it up. He gets into this stream, gets swept downstream, is able to pull himself ashore. He startles a homeless man and then collapses. So he's kind of just sitting there, lifeless, basically. Goes to Jamie. She's in some sort of like institute. She's dreaming of when she killed her mother or her foster mother. And then she starts to move her hand in a certain way, and it kind of connects with Michael. He moves his hand in the exact same way. So there's a clear connection between her and Michael, and it's growing stronger during the second part of this story. Then she's having some sort of panic attack in the institute she's in. She writes on a chalkboard that he's coming for her. Dr. Loomis is there. He's watching over Jamie and Rachel. It appears Jamie no longer speaks at this point in the movie anyway. Then all of a sudden a rock smashes through the window of Jamie's room with a note on it that says, "The evil child must die," and this pertains to her obviously being the niece of Michael Myers and what she did to her stepmother, or her foster mom. So then it shows Rachel going home. The dog Max is barking at the bushes. Michael is obviously there because it shows him in the bushes. Then all of a sudden it goes back to Jamie. She can hear him breathing. So you can really feel the connection between the two of them in this movie as opposed to the first one. Michael is now in the house. Max is gone. The door was wide open. And it actually shows Michael right behind Rachel in the house. So Dr. Loomis and Rachel are having a conversation. He tells her to leave, go to the closest store. She gets the cops to come and check, but they find nothing. Dr. Loomis pleads with Jamie to give him the information that she knows on Michael, because he thinks that she knows where Michael is. So then it goes back to the house. Rachel finds the picture of Jamie smashed. After Max starts barking again, she hears that noise, goes and finds the photo. Then all of a sudden Michael's right behind her and he stabs her. Tina shows up. Tina and Sammy, Rachel's friends, show up at her house. They go to leave. Tina almost spots Michael in the house when they're leaving. Then Michael is following Tina and Sammy. And because of the connection between Michael and Jamie, Jamie envisions Michael chasing her. Turns out to just be the janitor or the maintenance guy, I'm not really sure which. Then we go to Dr. Loomis asking Jamie why she is protecting Michael. Tells Jamie there's a reason Michael has this power over her, like this connection with her, and says, "Have you ever wondered why that is?" So after this, Dr. Loomis returns to the Myers house because he believes that is where Michael will go. Michael then continues to follow Tina and Sammy. And at the same time, Mikey is going for a booze run for this Halloween party that they're going to be going to. So he pulls into the back with his buddy. His buddy fills up his car with booze. Well, 3 cases, I guess, of beer. Then Michael appears out of nowhere, and Michael kills Mikey, which is kind of funny. So, because in the next scene, Michael picks up Tina from Rachel's house, and Tina's gets in the car, and she still thinks that it's her boyfriend Michael, but it's not. It's actually Michael Myers. So she escaped that situation, luckily, without being harmed. Jamie senses Tina is in danger. Tina tells Michael to stop the car. He continues to drive. Then he hits the brakes, backs up. He ends up switching masks when Tina goes into the store. When Tina comes out of the store, the cops surround her because Jamie gives Dr. Loomis and Dr. Loomis the location of Tina, so the cops are able to find her before she could be hurt by Michael. So Michael then flees. It appears that Jamie has gained her ability to talk again when Tina is there. Tells her about the boogeyman. Tina gets mad at Dr. Loomis for filling her head with that kind of thing, even though Dr. Loomis knows that Michael is real. So Dr. Loomis tells the cops to keep an eye on Tina, follow her. He doesn't want her to die tonight. Michael ends up following them there. Then they realize that Jamie is missing because she went searching for Tina. The cops let Michael drive right by them at the party, the ones that are supposed to be keeping an eye on Tina. Michael enters the bar. Tina and her friends play this prank on the cops where, I guess his name is Spitz or Fitz. It's one of those two. Dresses up as Michael and pretends to go after Tina and Sammy. The cops almost shoot him. So then Michael then enters the barn that they all go into. And then Michael ends up killing Sammy and Spitz or Fitz, whichever one his name was. Tina then goes back into the barn afterwards, finds them both dead, including the cops that were supposed to be there to protect her. Everyone has now left the party. So all of a sudden the car that Michael was in turns on. He chases Tina through the field with the car. Jamie finally catches up to Tina, yells for Michael. He begins to chase her instead. There's a kid named Billy there with her. He almost runs him over. Michael then hits a tree. The car explodes. Of course, you know Michael's not dead. He's leaning on the horn. All of a sudden the horn shuts off. He gets out of the car, goes to go after Jamie again. Tina intervenes, gets stabbed while trying to save Jamie. Dr. Loomis finds Jamie in the forest when she's running out of it. The cops take Jamie with them. Dr. Loomis tries to draw Michael out by telling him to go home, telling him that's where he will find Jamie. I can't remember what happened. Why do I have a... why can't I remember what happens here? Oh yes, sorry. So they go back to the house, and they all stock up, I guess, to protect Jamie. Jamie calls out Billy's name. They know that Billy's at the clinic, so that's where they think Michael is going. Dr. Loomis then knows that Michael will go back to the house now. Dr. Loomis tells Michael Jamie is the key to stopping his rage after he's already showed up and Dr. Loomis has basically held them all in the house captive. But right when Dr. Loomis goes to take the knife from Michael, he attacks Dr. Loomis, cuts him like right across the chest, and Dr. Loomis was already burned on the face and the hands from the second movie where he tries to kill Michael. So then Michael goes after Jamie and the cop that were upstairs. He kills the cop that was protecting Jamie. He then chases Jamie. Jamie hides in a garbage chute. She falls down it when Michael tries to grab her. So he, of course, walks down to the basement. Jamie tries to go back up it. He stabs at the garbage chute as she crawls back up. Jamie finds Max, Rachel dead, and somebody else in the attic. I'm not sure who else was up there. I'd have to watch the movie again to find out, but she then lays down in this, like, kid-sized coffin, basically. I think that's what it was, or maybe like a chest of some sort. So anyway, Michael then is about to stab her right when she says, "Uncle." Let me see. Michael takes off his mask, stands there for a second. She goes to touch his face or something, and then he gets angry. The chest or coffin type thing that Jamie was in falls as he's putting his mask back on. He goes to kill her again. As she's running back down the stairs away from Michael, she runs into Dr. Loomis. Dr. Loomis offers Jamie to Michael as a trap, I guess. I forgot about this. He traps him in a chain net, tries to tranquilize him and beat him. Then collapses on top of him because Dr. Loomis is out of energy. And then at the end of the movie, for the entire movie, there was this man in a trench coat with this weird symbol on his arm. He really served no other purpose. Nobody really knows who he is. He just shows up at the end of the movie when they take Michael and Jamie back to the police station. They're about to take Jamie away from the police station. He shows up, shoots all the cops, and frees Michael for some reason. Now, I'm not really sure. It's still to this day, I've seen that movie 3 or 4 times now. This might be the 4th time I've seen it. I still really don't understand who that guy is. I don't think they ever explain it in the later movies. Maybe they do, but I don't think they ever do. It's just kind of like a weird scene as to how Michael gets out of jail. You would think they would have done something different, but that's the way they ended the movie. My only criticisms for this movie would be the same as the first one. The mask design was kind of flawed. I don't know why they didn't tuck it in like they did in the first couple movies. Other than that, the second part, basically, I would say to like the Return of Michael Myers is much better than the first one. The storyline in this one is quite a bit better. The acting is actually much better in this one. There were no scenes where it seemed like people were trying to get away, and they could have very easily, but they just chose not to. Like, at least these chase scenes in this movie were far better. So I would actually give this movie an 8 out of 10. I'm not sure what I even rated the last one in the other video, but it doesn't matter. This one I'm giving an 8 out of 10. So I would highly recommend, I highly recommend watching all the movies just because they're classics, right? But this one is definitely one of my more favorite ones compared to 3 and 4. I would rate this much better than 3 and 4 were. And 1 and 2 are my top in the older series anyway. So I think that's it for this one. I've covered everything. I've given it a rating, yes, okay. And I will see you guys in the next one. Bye-bye for now.